Kingdom Investors is a marketplace ministry with a difference. It's different in that we, whom the Lord has used to build businesses in the tens of millions, the hundreds of millions, and now bordering on billion-dollar privately owned companies owned by us, are actually your teachers. So we have done this, and we are keen to teach you and show you the how and why that we did it. So many Christian business people are praying for breakthrough and praying for breakthrough and praying for breakthrough, and it never comes. Why is this? So many Christian business people are sowing and sowing and sowing and expecting to reap, but they never reap. Why is this? So many Christian business people are serving in their churches, they're running their businesses in a philanthropic way, but they're still battling and not making a profit and having cash flow issues. Why is all of this? Over the last 12 years, we at KI, we have lectured to millions and millions of people at conferences, at seminars, at churches, at business groups, at several universities, economic summits, on TV, on the radio. We've had thousands and thousands of interviews with business people, and we've received countless of emails and feedbacks and so on. And out of that, we've been able to pick the trends of what's going on and find the solutions and how and the reasons why the Christians don't seem to actually break through and prosper as they should be. We should be working in multiples. That is the biblical norm, but it is so rare today. KI is not teaching a prosperity message. It's not some random message. There is very good reason to create wealth for the kingdom of God. There is so much poverty, so much starvation and human misery and distress in the marketplaces of the nations of the world today. And almost all of that is caused by a culture of greed and corruption and self-centeredness in our trading practices and our economic theory. It will take a lot of money and a lot of influence and a lot of affluence to replace this with God's economy and God's economic culture of caring and sharing, because that always leads to universal prosperity and human flourishing. That is the kingdom of God in the marketplace, and that is what Jesus so overtly strove towards. KI is unique in that it is the only organization anywhere in the world that we are aware of that is heading up a national strategy to bring the kingdom of God into the marketplace. And we're doing this via the strategic creation of the world's first sheep nation. That is sheep nation as opposed to the goat nations mentioned in Matthew 25. The sheep nation is a nation without unemployment, poverty and homelessness, without domestic violence and family breakdown, without corruption and crime, without substance abuse and suicide, without false imprisonment and recidivism, without the massive debt and unfunded liabilities of governments, and so on and so on. This can only be done if we do business God's way, and if we prove to the rest of the world that it actually works, and that it is the only sustainable way to do business and to have an economic structure. So come with us, ladies and gentlemen, on the most fascinating journey as we take you into the marketplace with our webinars and our lectures and our podcasts and our videos, many of which are actually filmed on site in the 7 mountains of culture. We'll teach you Jesus's assignment, what it really was on earth, how Jesus took on the incredible corruption and greed which possessed the Jewish priests and the Jewish political leaders, to the barbaric savagery of the occupying Romans. Because it was this greed and self-centeredness that had absolutely decimated the Jewish people in first century Palestine and is still decimating peoples to this very day. So come with us as we explore why Jesus prioritized converting the tax collectors, why Jesus healed people and then sent them to the priest. He did it for free and sent them to the priest and said, look what I did to these people. I healed them for nothing. You're charging 14, 15 grand to do it. Why did he forgive people and baptize them for free? Why did he teach the people of Jericho that slaves could earn 1,000% on their money in 6 months? Why did he trash the temple and literally bankrupt the money changers? All of these things are so important if we are to attract the favor of God to our businesses. So come with us on this fascinating journey from the beginning of creation through to the modern era, including all the major milestones in the Bible and post-biblical history, narrated and filmed in the unique pioneering KI marketplace language and culture that so many of you are used to over the last 12 years, punctuated with testimonies, examples and stories. This will include full series on finding your assignment, knowing your enemy, how to make money in the marketplace with no outlay, with no money at all, how to do spiritual due diligence, all about spiritual identity. We'll teach about what is the concept and the order of God's progressive provision from survival to overflow to multiplication, and why we should never try to work around it. Working in multiples, obviously, spiritual covering, intimacy with the Lord, so important and so misunderstood. Trading within the Jubilee cycles, all of this sort of stuff we will teach you, and much more, because it's all crucial in attracting the favor of God to your business so that you can work in multiples, so that we can bring the kingdom of God into the marketplace. KI was originally focused on businesses and business people, but over the years our audience has diversified, and it's an audience of many millions, but there are lots of mums and dads and people who are not in business. And the reason for that is because the principles apply across the board. So you don't have to be in business to benefit from KI. We truly hope that you can join us as we grow our businesses and our influence and our affluence to bring the kingdom of God into the earth.